Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Friday follow-up. As you can see today, I've got a quote up there is, what is life if not a gamble? And I'm not judging anybody's actions on if they're a gambler or not. I think it's fair to say that I consider myself a gambler. I never drank, I never smoked. I listened very carefully to Nancy Reagan and just say no on drugs. I wish that would have worked on whoopie pies and pizza, but anyway, that's another Friday discussion. But, again, what is life if not a gamble? And it just made me think that sometimes don't we indulge in risky behavior? The definition of gamble is taking risky action in the hope of a desired result. So where I'd like to go to the casino and roll the dice and play cards and have a major discussion with the one-armed bandit, I think that there were times that I was gambling with something that is really more precious than the 20 bucks that I have in my wallet or that $5 that I want to spend on getting a 50-50 ticket. I was gambling with my life. I was participating in risky behavior, hoping that nothing would go wrong. And I would wonder sometimes, in dealing with tops or when I talk to other folks who struggle and say, do we sometimes subconsciously do that to ourselves? How many of us thought, well, today is weigh-in. I can, have a cheat night. I can maybe kind of go off my plan for a day because I've got 6 more days to take care of what I did. Isn't that kind of gambling, hoping that we're going to have a different look on life? And since we just never know what's going to happen. We think we're going to have time. Excuse me a minute. Somebody's at the door. See, I didn't know what was going on here. So we just never know. Let me see if I can fix this right now. See, I didn't know. We got somebody was. Hello, Barb. Did I miss a meeting?
I apologize for interrupting your meeting. I just had promised everybody I would check in last week because I didn't get to weigh in before I talked with everyone. So I wanted to let you know that I worked really hard this week and I lost 3/4.
3/4 of a pound. So you just happened to roll the dice hoping I would be here to take your knock on the door. Okay, yes, I get that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And where are you? Where are you today?
I'm at home in my office.
Oh, wow. I need a new office.
This is not my office. This is a nice background that I found. You know what my office looks like.
Okay, so for the record, you lost 3/4 of a pound this week.
Yes, sir, I did.
All right.
So I'm not doing as well as you, but I'm making progress, and that makes me really, really happy.
We are not striving for perfection. We are striving for progress.
Yes, and I'm going in the right direction. So thank you very much for the accountability.
Okay, all right. Well, you just have to wait at the end of this broadcast to find out how I did this week.
Okie doke. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy your time with Rick, and I'll get out of here. Thank you for letting me interrupt.
Thank you. All right. You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was a surprise. Again, you never know what's going to happen with life. You think you're just kind of just going along a certain track and something's going to happen and you have to stop and take care of the moment. So as I was saying, do you feel sometimes in your progress that you are taking risk, trying to put things off? it doesn't really matter sometimes if you think that you're going to be able to buy time. It does matter. It does matter in the fact that you have control. And here we go back to that word again of things that we can control. The fact that if you feel that I'll just skip today for moving around, walking a little bit, or I'll put it off for a few days thinking things will get better, it will have an adverse effect on your journey. And I remember, I come, fortunately or unfortunately, I come from a family that has a lot of professional gamblers in it, and I by no means are a professional gambler. But when I was trying to explain this, when I was doing a talk one time about how I never realized what I was gambling with my life, basically what we were talking about, they were trying to do this whole, well, what are the odds? What are the risks? And we know that in the medical field, there's studies saying that the longer you wait before you change your behavior, that it'll be harder. So again, I always just like, and it's amazing how since we've been doing these Friday chats and stuff, that how as much as you try to do new content, everything always comes back to the core thing about things that we can control, things that we can't control, and the fact that we should not be doing this alone. We have to stay connected. I mean, for crying out loud, look what just happened a moment ago that was totally unplanned. I remember listening to Barb's Monday check-in and saying that she hadn't had an opportunity to weigh in yet, and that she was going to weigh in after the meeting, and that she was going to get back to you folks, for that accountability. And she took an opportunity, luckily that I was on at 10 o'clock, I was on time, to do this, to check in. So, as I said last week, seizing the day, and as I've said in other talks that we've done, we've got to do this together. We have to find ways to stay connected using that teamwork so that we can beat the odds. We want to beat the odds and knock out this disease of obesity and get a better quality of life for ourselves and for our family and friends. That's really important. So, we try to do different things to kind of grab people's attention, but it all still boils down to that support and handling things we can control. And we know what we're supposed to do. And then there's been a couple of times this week that I almost fell off the wagon, so to speak, because of just so much going on, that I was starting to say to myself, well, it's Saturday, I got all this time. I just want to sit down and have that piece of pie, which is nothing wrong with that. But I know right now that I'm not in the right frame of mind, that one would lead to two or to three. And I just said, I want to stay accountable. I want to stay on this path. I'm really starting to feel the benefits of what we've put in place since the first of the year of this journey of accountability that we're going on together. So I was able to hang in there. And just let me show you, if I can, hopefully this will work. I'm going to take a gamble here and see if this works. But I want to just show you that. Let me find December. Okay. Remember I said one of my goals this at the beginning of the year is I had to increase my steps. I was going to go for 5,000 a day, try to get it up. if you can see this, that's the graph for the month of December. There's a lot of white there, not very many days that I got up over 5,000. Whoop, there we go. Told you, here we go. Okay, now let me find last month. Do you see the difference? That's a huge difference for me that since you folks were helping me stay accountable, and I said, you know, I've got to get my at least 5,000 steps in. And I had said last week that I wanted to get close to 7. And that was rough this week. There was actually several days that I hadn't even got up to 5,000 steps. And I made darn sure before I went to bed that I walked from one end of the house to the other end of the house, and to get at least over 5,000. So I had every day over 5,000. That was good. Had a couple of days close to 7. So I'm happy to report that I stayed away from gambling and putting things off, and stuck to my game plan. And I lost another 1.6 pounds this week for a total of 21.8 pounds since the beginning of the year. And I have to say, you know, you talk about a non-scale victory. When I went to find the right shirt to go with the background, I hadn't put this shirt on for about a month or so, and I could feel the difference. It's starting to feel good. And I think that's what's going to keep me going. I am not going to gamble and roll the dice and say, you know, I had a great weigh-in this morning. I lost 1.6. I'm going to celebrate and treat no, I've got to stay on the plan going forward. So again, another Friday follow-up. It's working very well for me. I'm hoping it's working well for you. Let's be careful and not gamble with our lives. Let's beat the odds so that we all can stay together, work hard so that we can get through this pandemic. The light is at the end of the tunnel. I feel that we're going to be able to, hopefully, some areas will be able to be meeting soon. But let's stay connected, and I think we can lick this. I really, really do. I want to thank you for helping me get back on track. It's been a wonderful 2 months. I can hardly wait to see what March is going to bring, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens for next Friday. And finally, I'd just like to ask a favor. As I said at the beginning, we try to come up with these little ways to grab people's attention, but yet hit them with the same core message. Why don't you send me an email or make a comment on this particular broadcast? Say, what topic would you like me to hit upon in the next few weeks? And I think Barb would appreciate the same thing. Is there something in particular that you'd like us to address, and then maybe we can kind of turn it into a program where you can take the YouTube link or the Facebook chat and share it with your chapter members and turn it into a program. That's kind of where we'd like to see this go. So again, let me know what we can do to kind of make these Friday morning follow-ups a little bit more interesting for you folks. But again, remember, we're never going to get away from the core message of supporting each other in these ordeals, and then how we're going to be able to beat the odds and control only what we can control. So again, thank you for another Friday follow-up. I hope you enjoyed the special guest that I was not aware was going to happen. And we'll see you next Friday. Thanks.